Have you ever wondered how one man's dream could change the course of a nation's history? Imagine a world where one person's vision for equality and justice reverberates through time, shaping the very fabric of society. That's the world Martin Luther King Jr. envisioned, and his legacy continues to impact American history profoundly. His courage, charisma, and commitment to civil rights have left an indelible imprint on our collective consciousness. In the next few minutes, we'll delve into the life of Martin Luther King Jr. Born on January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia, Martin Luther King Jr.'s journey was destined for greatness. The second of three children, King was born into a lineage of pastors and preachers, setting a spiritual tone that would underpin his life and work. His father, Martin Luther King Sr., was a prominent minister in Atlanta, and his mother, Alberta Williams King, was a talented musician who instilled a love of music in her children. King's intellectual journey began at the tender age of 5 when he started attending the Yonge Street Elementary School. From a young age, King demonstrated a keen mind and a thirst for knowledge. He was an exceptional student, skipping both 9th and 12th grades. At just 15, he was admitted to Morehouse College, a historically black institution renowned for its commitment to social justice. At Morehouse, King was introduced to the writings of Henry David Thoreau and his concept of civil disobedience, a philosophy that would profoundly shape his future activism. In 1948, he graduated with a degree in sociology and felt a calling to the ministry, following in his father's footsteps. King then attended the Crozer Theological Seminary in Pennsylvania, where he deepened his understanding of theology and honed his leadership skills. He graduated as class valedictorian in 1951, a testament to his intellectual prowess. His academic journey didn't end there. He moved to Boston University, where he pursued a doctoral degree in systematic theology. It was here, in the midst of rigorous academic exploration, that King refined his philosophy of nonviolent resistance, inspired by the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. In 1955, King completed his doctorate and emerged not just as a scholar, but as a man ready to apply his knowledge and beliefs to the struggle for civil rights. His studies in sociology, theology, and philosophy provided him with a unique lens through which to view and address the racial inequalities of his time. Martin Luther King Jr.'s academic pursuits laid the foundation for his visionary leadership. It was during the mid-1950s that King's voice began to resonate across America. The spark that ignited this resonance was the Montgomery bus boycott, a political and social protest against racial segregation on the public transit system of Montgomery, Alabama. In the wake of Rosa Parks' arrest, King, then a young pastor, was elected to lead the boycott. His inspiring speeches and unyielding commitment to nonviolence galvanized a community, leading to a Supreme Court ruling that segregation on public buses was unconstitutional. King's leadership during the boycott marked the inception of a larger role in the fight for civil rights. In 1957, he was elected president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, an organization that played a crucial role in the civil rights movement. The SCLC was dedicated to abolishing legal segregation and discrimination against African Americans through nonviolent protest, a strategy inspired by Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy of nonviolent resistance. In the early 60s, King's leadership in the civil rights movement became even more pivotal. He led peaceful protests and marches, most notably in Birmingham, Alabama, where the brutality of the police response shocked the nation and the world. These events were instrumental in the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which outlawed racial discrimination in employment practices and public accommodations. Throughout these tumultuous years, King faced numerous arrests, threats, and even a bombing of his home. Yet, he remained steadfast in his commitment to nonviolence, believing in the power of love to overcome hate and the force of truth to combat falsehood. King's leadership in the civil rights movement was not merely about achieving political and legal changes. He envisioned a society where people would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. His dream was of a beloved community, where love and justice would reign. King's nonviolent resistance strategy became the blueprint for civil rights protests across the nation. His philosophy of love, courage, and truth continues to inspire millions, reminding us that the struggle for social justice is a marathon, not a sprint. In 1963, King delivered a speech that echoed across the globe. The heart of Washington, D.C. was pulsating with anticipation as over 250,000 civil rights supporters gathered to hear Martin Luther King Jr. speak. It was here on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial that King voiced the words that would become a rallying cry for racial equality. "I have a dream." This wasn't just a speech, it was a seismic shift in the civil rights movement, a moment that magnified the urgency and inevitability of change. King's eloquence and conviction humanized the struggle for civil rights, making it impossible to ignore. His dream, the dream of a nation where children wouldn't be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character, resonated with millions. King's "I Have a Dream" speech played a critical role in the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. This landmark legislation outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, marking a significant triumph for the civil rights movement. King's relentless advocacy and inspirational leadership were pivotal in achieving this victory. In the same year, King's efforts were globally recognized as he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. At just 35 years old, he became the youngest man to receive this honor. In his acceptance speech, King declared that he believed unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. His words were a testament to his unwavering faith in the power of nonviolent resistance. King's dream was becoming a reality, but the journey was far from over. Despite the progress made, there was still a long road ahead. His fight for equality was far from finished, and his dream, while closer than before, remained just out of reach. But as King himself once said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." And so, the struggle continued, fueled by the hope that one day, King's dream would fully materialize. Despite the progress, King faced mounting challenges in his later years. As the 60s wore on, King's focus began to shift. No longer was his fight confined to civil rights alone. He broadened his scope, tackling issues of economic inequality and militarism. A fearless advocate for peace, King became an outspoken critic of the Vietnam War, a move which was met with significant resistance, even from his own allies. His belief in nonviolence and justice led him to question the morality of the war. He boldly declared, "A nation that continues year after year to spend more money on military defense than on programs of social uplift is approaching spiritual death." This stance cost him dearly, straining relationships with the government, the media, and even some within the civil rights movement. But King was undeterred. He launched the Poor People's Campaign, a multiracial effort aimed at addressing economic and human rights for poor Americans. He envisioned a revolution of values in America where the marginalized and the impoverished were no longer overlooked. As he continued to push for this vision, tragedy struck. On the evening of April 4, 1968, King was assassinated at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. He was there to lead a march in support of striking sanitation workers. His untimely death sent shockwaves around the world, sparking riots in over 100 cities across the United States. King's life was tragically cut short, but his legacy was immortalized. His philosophies, his speeches, and his unyielding commitment to nonviolent protest continue to inspire generations long after his death. King's dream of a just and equitable society, free of racial and economic disparities, remains a beacon of hope. It serves as a stark reminder of the work that still needs to be done, and the path that he courageously paved for us to follow. Martin Luther King Jr.'s impact on America and the world is immeasurable. Since his untimely death, the accolades and recognitions he has posthumously received are a testament to his enduring legacy. King was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor in the United States, and the Congressional Gold Medal, the highest civilian award by the U.S. Congress. His life and achievements are commemorated every year on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, an official American holiday celebrated on the third Monday in January. But perhaps King's most significant influence is not in the awards and recognitions he has received, but in the ongoing fight for civil rights and social justice. His nonviolent approach to activism, his powerful speeches, and his tireless dedication to the cause of equality continue to inspire activists around the world. His words echo in the halls of power, in the streets of protest, and in the hearts of those who strive for a more just world. King's dream of a world where people are judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character, remains a guiding light for many. His teachings continue to shape our understanding of justice, equality, and the power of peaceful protest. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream continues to inspire us, reminding us that the time is always right to do what is right.